This is America in the year we live in now. Not the version with skyline photos and booming cities, but the quiet one. Empty highways that stretch for miles. Town signs so faded you can barely read the name. A Dollar General glowing like a lighthouse in the dark. Somewhere in Alabama, people are surviving on about $300 a week. Not budgeting apps. Not side hustles, just survival. And the strange part? This isn't history. This isn't a documentary from the past. This is happening right now. Before you scroll away, hit subscribe, because these are the stories hidden in plain sight, and once you see them, you won't look at America the same way again. Some people here didn't choose this life. Factories closed, mills shut down. Jobs vanished. Others came on purpose, retirees escaping rent, families running from debt, people who decided peace was worth more than a paycheck. These towns are filled with grandparents stretching Social Security, single parents counting every dollar at checkout, workers laid off once, then twice, then forgotten. In this video, we're walking through real Alabama towns. Not rumors, not internet myths. Real places, real streets, real people. We'll break down weekly life the honest way. Food, lights, rent, gas. No pity, no exaggeration. Just reality. And at the end, one town will surprise you the most. The one outsiders misunderstand completely. So, how did $300 a week become normal? It didn't happen overnight. When factories left, they took steady pay with them. Farming got automated. Small businesses couldn't compete. What stayed was cheap housing, family networks, and communities that learned how to share. Neighbors helping neighbors. Churches filling the gaps. Cash jobs. Hand-me-downs. Gardens. Living here means trading opportunity for stability, trading convenience for control. And whether that trade is worth it depends on who you ask. Town number 5, Uniontown, Alabama. Uniontown, Alabama doesn't announce itself when you arrive. There's no big sign telling you that you've made it. What hits you first is the quiet. The streets move slow here. A few cars pass by. Small churches sit full on Sundays. Old storefronts stay empty, like they're waiting for something that never came back. Here's the shock. Rent in Uniontown can be lower than what many people pay each month just to keep a car on the road. These aren't luxury homes. They're small, worn, and simple. But when housing is cheap, everything else becomes easier to manage. Living on about $300 a week here isn't comfortable, but it's possible. Food comes first. Most meals are cooked at home. Beans, rice, eggs, canned food, sale meat, and whatever someone's garden produces that week. Electric bills stay low because lights go off early. Air conditioning is used carefully, sometimes skipped altogether. Gas is planned ahead. No random drives, no wasting fuel. An older man here has lived his whole life in Uniontown. He survives only on Social Security. No savings, no backup. Every dollar already has a job before it arrives. He said something that stuck with me. When the money runs out, you sit still. And in Uniontown, sitting still feels normal. Everyone knows everyone. They know your name, they know your family, they know your business, sometimes better than you do. Privacy is limited, but community is strong. You won't find chain restaurants here, no drive-through meals, no endless choices. So here's the real question. Could you live somewhere this quiet? No chains, no convenience, just low costs, familiar faces, and a slower life. Tell me in the comments. Town number 4, Haleville, Alabama. Haleville feels like a town frozen in time. Once it thrived on coal and small manufacturing jobs. Now the factories are silent, the machinery rusting, and the streets carry a quiet that feels heavier than you'd expect. There's plenty of housing here, more than most people need. But the problem isn't roofs, it's jobs. Steady work is rare. Most people survive through side hustles, fixing someone's yard, repairing old appliances, or odd jobs that pay cash. Take Maria, a single mother of two. She budgets to the dollar every week. Her rent takes nearly half her income. Groceries are bought from sales or discount stores. Every trip to the store is a decision, a careful calculation between protein, vegetables, and what she can afford for the kids. The town itself is quiet, but full of character. Abandoned lots stretch out between houses. Old factories cast long shadows at sunset. If you pause long enough, you can almost hear the echoes of the town's past work days, the laughter of kids on swings, the whistles of trains that carried coal away. Life here isn't easy, but there's resilience in every corner. Neighbours help each other when they can, sharing vegetables from gardens or giving a hand with repairs. Hope doesn't come from money. It comes from the community, the routines, and the small wins every week. It's hard to imagine surviving on about $300 a week, yet people here make it work. They adjust, they compromise, they live quietly but with dignity. If this reality surprised you, hit the like button and let us know, because Haleville shows a side of America many never see. Town number 3, Greensboro, Alabama. Greensboro is one of those towns that looks small on a map but feels huge in its personality. On paper, the numbers are harsh. Poverty here is high, wages are low, and opportunities feel limited. But step into the town and something else hits you. Community. This place holds itself together in ways money can't buy. The Dollar General isn't just a store, it's the heartbeat of the town. People meet there, catch up, and sometimes even swap advice on stretching a dollar. Churches and food pantries fill in the gaps where work and wages fall short. If someone needs help, neighbours show up, whether it's a meal, a ride, or just someone to talk to. Sundays in Greensboro are louder than Saturday nights. Church bells, kids running, conversations spilling onto porches. It's chaotic, warm, and alive. Even with only about $300 a week, life carries rhythm and meaning. Take Jessica, a single mom. She works 2 jobs but still struggles to make rent and buy groceries. Yet she's part of a network that helps her and her kids survive. Meals, car rides, school supplies, even babysitting. It's a trade-off. Money is tight, but nobody here faces life completely alone. Greensboro asks a question most towns don't. Is community worth more than income? Here, the answer isn't theoretical. It's lived every day. Neighbours watch each other's kids. People know each other's names. And for many, that connection is more valuable than a bigger paycheck. Could you live somewhere that asks you to rely on your neighbours as much as your own wallet? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Town number 2, Camden, Alabama. Camden is the kind of town that surprises you the moment you step in. Some homes don't have central air conditioning. High-speed internet, forget about it. But the streets are calm, mornings stretch out long, and life moves at a pace that feels impossible in the city. Living here on about $300 a week takes planning. Bills are counted carefully. Groceries are bought on sale or in bulk. Gas is rationed for errands that really matter. Clothes are repaired instead of replaced. Every dollar has a purpose, and most weeks it has to stretch farther than anyone in a city would expect. Take Robert, for example. He left Birmingham to escape debt and the stress of a high-cost city life. Here, he rents a small house, pays less than a quarter of what he used to, and still manages to put a little aside. Yes, you heard that right. Some people actually save money on $300 a week. Not because it's easy, but because they've learned to trade convenience for freedom. Mornings in Camden are quiet. The sun rises slowly over small houses and empty streets. Kids walk to school. Dogs trot along sidewalks. Neighbours wave. The town moves with a rhythm that feels almost timeless. Here's the real twist. Surviving in Camden doesn't depend on cash alone. It depends on family, neighbours, networks of help that money can't buy. Without that, $300 a week might feel impossible. So, let me ask you, if you had to live here, what would you give up first? Your car or the internet? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you've stayed with me this far, congratulations. The next town is the one outsiders misunderstand the most. It's number 1, and it will completely change the way you see life in rural Alabama. Town .1, Sumter County, Livingston and York area. Sumter County feels different the moment you arrive. It's not flashy. The streets are lined with modest houses, some with peeling paint, others freshly mended by neighbours who care more than contractors. Here, survival on about $300 a week isn't just possible. It's a way of life passed down through generations. Take the Johnson family as an example. 3 generations live under one roof: grandparents, parents and kids. The house is small, but every corner is filled with purpose. Grandparents cook large meals once a week that feed everyone. Parents stretch groceries with home gardens, eggs from backyard chickens and bulk staples. Kids help with chores, babysit younger siblings, and learn the value of work early. Outsiders look at this and see hopelessness. They see low income, outdated homes and quiet streets, and they think people are struggling to survive. But for those inside, there is stability. There's predictability, trust, and a network of family that makes every dollar go further than a stranger could imagine. Cultural norms play a huge role. Sharing is expected. Every borrowed tool, every shared meal, every combined trip to the store reduces costs and strengthens bonds. Frugality isn't a punishment. It's wisdom. Patience and planning make $300 stretch across a week, a month, even longer when everyone chips in. Evenings here feel long in the best way. The sun sets slowly over the county roads. Crickets hum. Porch lights flicker on. Stories are told over tea and dinner. Children laugh, grandparents smile, and life hums along quietly, steadily. Sumter County shows us that poverty isn't always hopelessness. Sometimes it's about resilience, resourcefulness, and the people who surround you. Could you live like this, where every hand matters and every dollar counts? Think about it. When most people hear $300 a week, they think of struggle, stress, and empty plates. But the reality in these Alabama towns is more complicated. Yes, money is tight. Yes, luxuries are rare. But poverty isn't just a number. It's how far your money goes, how much stress you carry, and what your expectations are. In these towns, $300 a week can cover rent, food, and basic needs because the cost of living is so low. Compare that to a city where $800 a week might barely keep a single person afloat. High rents, expensive groceries, and commuting costs eat it all up. So, by numbers alone, city dwellers might earn more, but they feel poorer. Stress here comes from different places. Not from bills that can't be paid, but from planning, stretching and worrying about small emergencies. Debt is less common, not because people are richer, but because they avoid it. Expectations are lower. Your satisfaction and happiness often run higher than you'd think. Being poor in rural Alabama doesn't mean hopelessness. It means adjusting, prioritizing, and leaning on family and neighbors. It means knowing exactly what a dollar can do and making it work. It means trading convenience and variety for stability and connection. So before you judge, ask yourself, is poverty a number, or is it the freedom to live with what you have without the crushing pressure of city life? Sometimes $300 a week teaches lessons that $800 in the city never could. Rural Alabama isn't just a collection of small towns, it's a pressure release valve for America. When cities become too expensive, too crowded, too demanding, people move here or stay here, surviving on less. $300 a week stretches because life is slower, expectations are smaller, and neighbors help each other. But make no mistake, this life demands resilience and sacrifice. Comfort is limited, choices are few, and convenience is almost non-existent. Yet control is high. People here decide how to live, how to spend, and who to trust. It's a trade-off, and not everyone could handle it. If you found this eye-opening, like the video, share it with someone curious about real life in America. And subscribe for more stories that don't make headlines. Could you survive on $300 a week? Comment below and let us know. Next episode, we'll explore other states where poverty looks different, and the lessons are just as surprising. Quiet, patient, and alive. That's life here.